Hello everyone, welcome to today's video on the important articles from the Hindu, November 3rd. Let's see the first article. World leaders pledge to save forests, cut methane emissions. So go through this article, important issues like there is a global methane pledge, whether India is part of this pledge or not, go through this. And there is also New York Declaration of Forests, which was recently asked in the prelims, was mentioned, go through this. And other things like from where was this greenhouse gas like methane is being emitted, you can go through that. So that's all from this article. Then moving on to the second article, set up complaint police complaints bodies, NHRC. So first of all, you should know about the provisions of NHRC, etc. And then this is also important. This is about police reforms, which were part of this case, Prakash Singh versus Union of India, where Supreme Court has suggested some police reforms that is needed, and even this uh, Law Commission report and etc. This is also you can important. Go through this. In this page, this article, trade and climate, the pivot for India studies. Not very important, but you can just go skim through this. This article is trying to say that India studies are majorly based on trade and climate, but UPSC will not ask you such unidimensional questions. It will ask multidimensional questions, and so you just note down that trade and climate and what are the major things in trade and climate which are driving the India and US ties. So just skim through this, or you can just go through the underlined areas and make a note of it. Then this climate pledge, nations must realize they are not in a competitive race but trying to outrun the clock. So here it's just a revision of all the things that we have been reading from yesterday or some time before. Just go through this. The other article here is quota without data, important article. Please go through this. There are some important things mentioned. Constitution 102nd Amendment here. Go through this, and then there are like a ninth schedule. You can go through that, and the other Supreme Court orders were also mentioned here. So important article from GS paper to mains perspective. This article is not very important. It is about the hardships that are being faced by the um, migrants, Indian women migrants in the Gulf Cooperation, Gulf countries. So just need not go through this. So in this page, this article, Defense Acquisition Council clears proposals worth 7,965 crore is an important article. Here, some of the things like Make in India, indigenously developed helicopters, etc. This how this is being done is given. So some points from this article can be used in that topic. Then set up police complaints. This continuation from the first article. You can go through that once. And here, centered caste-based payments NREGA. So if a question is asked about the NREGA and the implementation of NREGA, you can use these points for as an example in that answer. In this page, this article, CBI charges us 6 for leaking confidential information. So here, what are kilo class submarines? That is important, and you can also know about espionage, etc. So not very important, but you can note down about that, and also you can read about CBI from elsewhere. In this page, this article, India to help countries prone to climate change. This is an important article here. So what we are trying to do, and how we are trying to extend our global influence into other countries and helping the small islands, etc. So what is this initiative? You can know about this. You can use these points in international relations also, and also in relation to climate change also you can use. So go through this once. Then India calls for hike in climate finance to $1 trillion. So presently we are there is a pledge of $100 billion every year. So, but India is saying that it has to be increased to $1 trillion every year. And because this was calculated, $100 billion was calculated on the basis of 2009, but at present that may not be sufficient. So we have to raise the climate finance funds, etc. This was saying, and also there are some important things related to International Solar Alliance. What is this? Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Know about these. What is Lead It? What is TWN? Third World Network. So just read about them. That can be asked in the prelims. Moving on to the next article. One sun, one world, one grid can be used in essays uh, in environment or climate change related questions. Also, you can use. This is an initiative by India and US. Can be a part of uh, prelims question also. Go through this ones. This last article, India's climate commitments are bold, but meeting them will be a challenge. So already we are reading the same thing, like changed NDCs that Prime Minister Modi has given at Glasgow COP26. Yes, same thing. So this article is trying to say that yeah, they are good, but it is challenging to achieve them. So that's all from this page. In this page, you can go through this article. GOP senator support cards a waiver for India. So India was trying to get this S-400 missile defense systems from Russia, and if we are getting these things from Russia, as per the cards, some sanctions can be imposed. But there are some senators who are supporting for CARTSA waiver for India. Go through this important article, can be helpful for prelims, mains, and essay. Then the other articles are not very important. Just for general knowledge sake, you can go through this. China battles new outbreaks with sweeping measures. So just see there is a new outbreak and what China is trying to do there. And then you can go through this article. Leaked SMS sharpens Australia France. So what is this conflict about? So there was a cancellation of some agreement by Australia, which was made with France. So in relation to that, you can just for general knowledge sake, you can go through that, and even this is also don't go through it, but for general knowledge sake, you can just read the headings. So in this page, this article, RBI issues revised PCA framework for banks. What is PCA? Prompt, corrective action, etc. This was previously also asked in the prelims. So go through this article, and also there are some technical terms like CRAR, common equity tier 1 ratio, net NPA ratio, tier 1 leverage ratio. So these things can be asked in the prelims. So important from prelims perspective. And then this article, RBI panel on ARC's proposes norms for values, reserve price. Go through this in the context of insolvency and bankruptcy code, etc. Can be asked. So moving on to the next article, plan to boost electronics manufacturing and annual important article in relation to promotion of industries growth, etc. And also make in India, etc. Global value chains. You can read about global value chains and how to ensure that India becomes part of this global value chain, so that our industrial output and our share of industry in GDP increases. So from there, this article is important. Thank you, and that's all from today's paper.